Hello everybody. Today we are going to see the chapter Object-Oriented Programming Concepts. In short, it is called OOP concepts. The topics that we are going to discuss is about overview of object-oriented programming, to understand the concept of objects, classes, and other related terminologies. To also know the advantages of object-oriented programming and its disadvantages, which will be highlighting the different application areas. So what is OOP and a class? Object-oriented programming methods modularize a program by creating memory area for data and its member functions, which will be combined together as a single entity. An object is the basic unit of OOP. To design this OO model, first a set of classes should be defined. What exactly is this class mean? A class is a template from which objects are created. The template of a class which will be specifying the data, member functions, and their attributes. This is a simple slide which will be showing what is a class, object, data member, and member function. An example is a class name Apple. We consider any Apple smartphone as an object. When we consider any smartphone, we are going to look at the various aspects of it, which can be the color of the mobile, what is the cost of the mobile, the model number, camera, pixels, quality of it, etc. Member functions such as call function and video function. Combining these data members and member functions together is an object. A class consists of n number of objects. This is a slide which says object 1, object 2, object 3, and so on. All these objects can communicate to each other when it is declared in one particular class. So object is nothing but combining both data and function. The various concepts that includes in object-oriented, which is also nothing but characteristics of it. First one, object. Let us see what is object. An object is a collection of data members and its associated member functions. Every object must be a member of a particular class. The definition of an object says it is an instance of a class. Here, two different examples have been specified. Example 1, The class name is given as fruit. The data members such as apple, orange, mango. Example 2, a class name is bird. Data members such as peacock, sparrow, and crow. Class bird data members cannot be included in a class fruit, which means a class can contain only the similar characteristics of objects. What is a class? A class is a way of grouping objects which will be having similar characteristics. Once a class is defined, any number of objects of that class can be created. Classes are user-defined data types which can hold both data and functions. For example, planets, sun, moon are three different data members of a class called as solar system. The next slide is the concept of data abstraction. Data abstraction refers to the process of representing only the essential features without having the background details that is given to the user. Data encapsulation. It combines both data and functions into a single unit, which we already know the definition of it is class. Data encapsulation. It also enables data hiding, and it can give a strong security for your program information. Data can be accessed only through methods, which is nothing but functions, that is present inside the class. The next concept is inheritance. It is the process of creating a new class from an already existing class. An existing class, we call it as base class or superclass. The newly created class, we call it as derived class or a subclass. The advantage of creating a new class from an existing class is nothing but the reusability of the code, in which it saves time for the programmer. Overloading is the next concept. Overloading allows objects to have different meaning depending upon the context. Operator overloading and function overloading are two different types. When an existing operator operates on a new data type, which is called as operator overloading. Function overloading means two or more functions which can have same name, but it can differ only in number of arguments and data types. Polymorphism is the next concept of object-oriented. Definition: the ability of an operator and function to take multiple forms. In the example given in the slide, shapes, the different shapes, or we can also call it as symbols: circle, square, triangle, rhombus are four different symbols which can be given a name called as shapes. Data binding. It is the process of connecting one program to another. Dynamic binding means the code associated with a procedure call is only activated at the time of program execution by user. Message passing, which means the processing is done by sending the messages to objects. As we discussed earlier, a class can have n number of objects. These objects can communicate to each other by sending messages which will be specifying the request. The request includes data member or member function. This slide talks about the various advantages of OOP. The concepts which we have seen in the before slides will be acting as the advantages of object-oriented over any such programming methods of the earlier forms. The programs are modularized based on the principle of classes and objects. Linking of the code and objects allows related objects to share a common code. This will reduce the code duplication and code reusability. Data is encapsulated along with functions and hence it provides data security. It is easier to develop a complex software because complexity can be minimized through inheritance. The concept of data abstraction separates object specification and object implementation. Creation and implementation of object-oriented code is very much easy, which will help us to reduce the software development time. Object-oriented programming elements can communicate through message passing, which makes interface description with outside system, which makes the user very simple. After having so many advantages of OOP, some of the drawbacks which will be highlighted. This OOP software is not having a set of standards. It is a very complex process because it is very difficult to convert the real world problem into an object-oriented model. Keeping all this concept, we will be having a different areas where we can see this programs. Computer graphic applications, CAD, CAM software, which is nothing but computer aided design, computer aided manufacturing softwares, object-oriented database, user interface design such as Windows, real-time systems, simulation and modeling, artificial intelligence and expert systems. It can also be a robots and its functions. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the slides.